What up, Knicks fans? You're watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. And in today's show, it is a loaded one as we have a Donovan Mitchell trade update from Brian Windhorst. This is what's on the show today. Ian Begley was asked, is RJ Barrett untouchable? He had a pretty cool quote about it. We'll break that down. And Michael frickin' Wilbon has disrespected the New York Knicks once again. We're going to break all that down. But first, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 12,000 subscribers on the channel as soon as possible. Knicks videos every single day. So if you bleed blue and orange, you love the Knicks, and you're looking for a one-stop shop on YouTube for Knicks content, we're your guys. Lock us in. Hit that big red button. First, though, let's start with this Donovan Mitchell update from Brian Windhorst. He was on the Rich Eisen show yesterday, and he was asked what's going on with Donovan Mitchell, and he said, I would guess that eventually Donovan Mitchell is a Knick. There is so much smoke around this situation. Brian Windhorst has said it's going to get done. Tim Bontemps of ESPN said it's going to get done. Tim McMahon of ESPN said it's going to get done. Mark Stein has said it's going to get done. Every big J out there has said it's going to get done, but it hasn't yet. A lot of smoke, no fire. But this was the full quote that Brian Windhorst had on the Eisen show about the latest Donovan Mitchell stuff. He said, I know there are other teams interested, but what the price that the Jazz are looking for, which is somewhere in the neighborhood of that 4 first-round picks that they got for Gobert, and then other players, I think the Knicks are the team that can pay it. I think the Knicks are the team the Jazz want to do business with. And I think the Knicks ultimately will probably feel some pressure to execute that deal, especially if the season starts slow and they don't start out super hot. So I would guess that eventually Donovan Mitchell is a Knick. That's an educated guess. I don't know, of course. And I think it's really right now all about the two sides doing their own posturing and negotiations on what the price is going to be. I echo what Brian Windhorst is saying. This trade will get done, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's next week, whether it's in a month, whether it's on the eve of training camp opening up in September. I do believe that Donovan Mitchell will go from Salt Lake City to Madison Square Garden and turn in his green, blue, and yellow uniforms for a blue and orange one this season, rocking that number 45 in the Mecca, MSG. And the reason I think it happens is because both teams want what the others have. The Jazz want young, cheap players, a lot of first-round picks, and expiring contracts. The Knicks have that. $15 million for an expiring deal in Derrick Rose, another $5 million in an expiring deal for Cam Reddish, 8 tradable first-round picks, and cheap young talent, and Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes, and Obi Toppin. And what do the Knicks want? They want Donovan Mitchell. They want a superstar. They want someone they could pair alongside Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, and Mitchell Robinson for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years in the NBA. I believe a trade will get done. They have what we want. We have what they want. But I want to hear from all Knicks fans right now. How are you feeling? I was more confident a week ago, but we knew this was going to drag on, and it's continuing to do that. But I want to hear from you. Do you think a Donovan Mitchell trade will happen? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Now we got to break down on the show what Ian Begley said about RJ Barrett. He did a podcast with Chris Mannix, who covers the NBA, and Mannix asked him, is Donovan Mitchell on the table? Is Donovan Mitchell or is RJ Barrett on the table in a Donovan Mitchell trade? Would the Knicks trade RJ for Donovan Mitchell? This is what Ian Begley said. He said, I don't believe anyone is 100% off limits. I don't believe that's the case. I know the Knicks do not want to trade RJ Barrett. Certainly the idea is to bring Donovan Mitchell in and have RJ and Brunson beside him to go compete for a playoff spot. The idea would not be to send RJ Barrett out and bring Donovan Mitchell in. Depending on who you ask, though, and who is in the group that's kind of pushing at the end of this thing, there will be people that will say, hey, we need Donovan. And if it takes RJ to do it, so be it. He said, I don't think, though, that would be the consensus, and I would be surprised if that was ultimately the case. But when you ask me if RJ Barrett is off limits, I don't think any player is off limits in this kind of deal. And I just want to get this out there. No way is Donovan Mitchell going to be coming to the New York Knicks and RJ Barrett is going to be traded to the Jazz. The New York Knicks are not going to trade RJ Barrett. That's their baby of this team. Leon Rose knows what RJ Barrett can be. The kid is 22 years old and continues to get better every single season. If you look at what he's done in his young NBA career, he started off, came into the league as a rookie, averaged 14 points. Then he got better in 2020, 17 and a half, 3 assists, 44% from the deck, 40% from three. I'm not sure RJ is a 40% shooter from deep, but I know he's better than 32. I know he's better than 34. Can he hover somewhere around 36 to 37%? This year, he averaged 20 points per game as a 21-year-old. And we saw him down the second half of the season show every New York Knicks fan the type of player that he can be. In the final 42 games of the 2021 NBA season, he averaged 23.5 points per game to go along with 30.5 assists. The efficiency is a little bit low. I'd like to see that get up. 41 from the deck, almost 35 for three. I want to see a 45 and 37 season this year from RJ, but we saw that he can be the engine that drives the bus. No way is RJ Barrett going to get traded. The Knicks have been looking for that guy that they have drafted, that they can groom, can get a second contract to, and someone that they can build around. And that's the guy RJ Barrett can be. Whether you get Donovan Mitchell or not, RJ Barrett is going to be in the plans for the New York Knicks for a very long time. I would not include him in a trade for Donovan Mitchell, but this show's not all about me. I want to hear from all of you in the comment section right now. Here at Chat Sports, we thrive off audience interaction. I truly value what you guys have to say because I love talking hoops with Knicks fans. So let me know, would you include RJ Barrett in a Donovan Mitchell deal? Type I for include, type L for leave out. Let me know what you're thinking right now. Just because we're talking about RJ Barrett, I want to hook you guys up with an awesome deal that we have going on with Fanatics, today's sponsor. When you go to chatsports.com/StarJ, that's chatsports.com/StarJ, you can get hooked up with this swaggy RJ Barrett jersey. Let's rep him. Let's show him some love. Broadway Barrett, he's going to be the face of the Knicks for a very long time. It's time for us Knicks fans to support him. Show him some love. Get an RJ Barrett jersey today. Chatsports.com/StarJ. To close out this segment, I just want to talk about what Michael Wilbon had to say on PTI or Around the Horn, whatever show he's on anymore. That show's gone to shit. But I want to talk about him disrespecting the New York Knicks. This is what he said, and honestly, it pissed me off when I heard it. He said, what do the Knicks have other than Donovan Mitchell coming in that would suggest that they're going to be able to beat the teams we just talked about? Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, and Miami are just at the top. They wouldn't even move ahead the Bulls, who are in the middle of the pack. And the Nets, where would the Nets be in that? I don't know that the Knicks would even get into the real field of six. They'd be in the play-in, maybe. Better than Atlanta? No, I don't see that. That will be big news because it is the Knicks and because of Donovan Mitchell, who everybody likes as a player. But does it make the Knicks a contender? Move them past people in the Eastern Conference? No. Michael Wilbon, frickin' Wilbon. Like, is it just when you go into your production meeting and you work at ESPN, it's like, how can we talk about for 30 minutes? How can we shit on the New York Knicks right now? How can we talk about the Knicks in a negative light that's going to get people amped up? They got me. I'm pissed off. And I want everyone else right now, you guys know the drill. When there's a hater alert and it's going off, we got a hater alert. Michael Wilbon is being a hater. So you guys know the drill. If you hate what he had to say, if you hate Michael Wilbon, you can go ahead and type F Wilbon in the chat. A play-in team with Donovan Mitchell? Really, Wilbon? Are you that desperate to get clicks and views on your show? The Knicks won 37 freaking games last year with Alec Burks and Evan Fournier as their starting backcourt. 37 wins with Burks and Fournier, and you're telling me if we replace them with Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell, this team's only going to win 4 or 5 more games and become a 7 seed in the Eastern Conference? I call bullshit. I call F Wilbon. It's not a chance. In my life, this is my goal in life, guys, to find someone that loves me as much as ESPN loves the Knicks. And it's kind of a hate-love relationship with the Knicks because they love to talk about them. They love to do the Knicks for clicks. They love to shit on them because they know people like me, you, and everyone watching is going to be upset about it. So my goal in life is to find someone at the end of the day that loves me like ESPN loves talking about the Knicks in a negative light. It's lazy at this point to continue to talk about the Knicks like they're a dumpster fire, like they're the bottom team in the NBA, because they're not. Since Leon Rose has come here, he has brought some respectability and some credit to the Knicks. So if you're pissed off, you're not a fan of what Wilbon said, you can go ahead and spam it in the comments right now.